is the founder of the Second Amendment March. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Larry, what do you make of the U.S. government? Is it bad?
The U.S. government is too big. It has powers that it's exercising that are unconstitutional, socialistic, and I think that is the mood that more and more Americans are coming to realize is shared with a lot of their friends and neighbors, and I think we're aiming to take it down a peg or two during the primaries.
When did it get socialistic? When did it get socialistic?
Well, it's been something that's been on the way for a long time, but I think the incumbent president has probably in a sort of an unintended way done us a favor by making so many people so much more aware this is what they're doing in Washington, and that's why I think we're seeing the growth of the opposition to what has been done in Washington, because now people realize and they don't like it.
I want to ask you about health care before we move to the other guest, and that question deals with this. Teddy Roosevelt was for national health. Dick Nixon was for it. Jack Kennedy, I was reading it the other night, the first time he ran in '46 for the House, he was for it. Certainly Harry Truman was for it. Johnson was for it. Are they all socialists?
Yeah, actually they were.
They're all socialists.
They were advocating, and they call themselves in many cases progressives, which is just another word for socialist. And the idea that somehow the government can do better making decisions about my health than I can is obnoxious.
Let me go to Skip Coryell on that. Skip, do you share the same views about the federal government, that it's socialistic?
I think the federal government is way too big. Whether or not they're socialist, you know, I'm not a political science major. I don't know. I just know that I don't want the federal government running every aspect of my life. They are too big. They do need to be shrunk down a little bit, yes.
What freedom have you been denied in your lifetime? I mean, do you have rights or don't you have rights? I'm curious. I feel pretty free. I guess you don't, because you wouldn't be out there rallying if you did feel free. How do you feel that they've gotten in the way of your free speech, your free religion, your free association, the free employment, where you go, where you live, where you travel? Where have they gotten in the way of that, of these basic human freedoms?
Well, they have gotten in the way right now as I speak. I'm standing in Washington, D.C., next to the National Monument, Washington Monument. I'm unarmed. Normally, I would carry a pistol for self-defense. Right now, I am defenseless, except for your cameraman, but I don't think he's going to do a whole lot of good if I try and if someone mugs me right now. So the right to keep and bear arms, I am being infringed upon right now as we speak, sir. Because
you should be allowed to carry any armament you can carry by bearing arms. In other words, if you can carry it, you should be allowed to. If you can lift it up.
Well, I suppose so.
I mean, what are the limits to gun? What are your limits to gun ownership? What are your limits?
I want a pistol.
What should be your right? What should be your right?
On my side, I want to be able to protect my family. I got 4 little kids. I got a 4-year-old little boy. I've got a 5-month-old baby.
How much
I want to be able to protect
should there be any limits?
My wife.
Should there be any limits on your ability to carry firepower? Your personal ability to carry fire? Should it be what you can bear, literally?
Chris, what are you talking about?
I'm asking
you.
A
weapon?
You
or
said you were. I asked you to name all the rights in the world, and you limited it yourself to your concern about guns on the Washington Wall. I'm asking you, what kind of gun would you like to carry? How big should it be on the Washington Wall? Can you carry a bazooka?
Okay,
does the Second Amendment protect that right?
I don't feel the need for a bazooka right now, but I would like to have maybe a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson, maybe 9mm, as long as I have extra
what are your
magazines.
Rights?
But yeah, I'm fine.
What are your
rights?
My
rights are I have the right to protect my family.
No, you're just using rhetoric.
My kids.
You said your rhetoric. You said that your rights were being denied right now in the Washington Wall because you can't carry.
Yes, they are.
Well, tell me what your rights are.
I cannot protect myself right now.
Can you carry a bazooka,
right
an automatic
to protect myself? And you and your friends are not allowing me to protect myself.
I'm asking you a question. I'm not on the Supreme Court.
And I am telling you exactly. I am answering your question, kind sir. I am not being allowed to protect myself.
Okay.
God gave me life. He gave me the right to protect my life, and it is being taken away by the government as we speak, sir.
Do you believe that everyone in Washington, D.C. right now would be better off carrying a firearm? Everyone in the city of Washington right now would be better off carrying a gun.
They would be better off with the choice.
And, well, if they exercise the choice, would that be okay with you? If you were surrounded right now by 1 million people in Washington, all armed like yourself, would that bother you?
No, not really. I mean, I'm from Michigan. I do it quite often. I live with that.
Okay, but you won't tell me what you just. You're an expert on the Second Amendment, but you won't tell me in any degree what it protects. Does it protect your right to arm yourself? To what degree?
Chris,
just tell me.
Let me relieve your curiosity, if I might.
No, I want Skip to answer the question. He raised the issue. He can handle the answer. He doesn't need your help. Larry, he doesn't need your help. Larry, he doesn't need your help.
Another take on it. You can look at the Militia Act of 1792. They made it very clear that it's the standard issue rifle of the day that you're going to be carrying. That's what's protected by the Second Amendment.
Okay, so you would say that would be what today? What kind of armament would that be?
Machine gun. The battle weapon that our soldiers are using.
You mean an automatic weapon?
Of course.
But they've been outlawed since the 30s.
In some ways, they're greatly restricted. They shouldn't be outlawed. That's another unconstitutional invasion by our federal government.
Was J. Edgar Hoover a socialist as well?
Oh, yes, very much a big government advocate. He's the guy that really brought on the Depression with his big tariff.
No, J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover? I don't know what his politics were.
Well, I thought they got rid of the machine guns back in the days of Elliot Ness, and you want to bring them back.
That was a good deal before J. Edgar, really. Yeah, I would. I would like to bring him back. That's absolutely what
Okay, you're for machine guns. Are you, Skip, he was your lawyer here for guns. Do you think you should be allowed to carry a Tommy gun onto the Washington Mall if you feel like it?
Just like Switzerland, absolutely.
I would like to have a machine gun.
Would you like to have the right? Do you have the right to walk down that mall you're on right now carrying a machine gun?
Yeah, I do. What I don't have the right to do is murder people. We don't need 20,000 gun laws. We need one gun law that says, thou shalt not murder. That's it.
Okay. Yep. Do you need your gun to protect you from the federal government while you're in Washington? Skip.
Not right now, no.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Okay, Larry, would you like to have a machine gun to protect you from the federal government?
When they start shooting the way King George shot at our forefathers, they get the first shot, we get the last.
Do you expect that?
I don't know what to expect. These people are out of control, though.
Is it plausible that this government of ours, which was elected by us, that wasn't foisted on us by a royal crown in Britain, do you think it's plausible that it could come to attack you personally with guns?
It's not plausible until the moment it happens. It's just something that, for instance, the Jews weren't expecting in Nazi Germany.
Okay, let me ask you about President Obama. Do you believe he's an American? You first, Larry.
I don't care whether he's an American
I'm asking you a question.
The man is an un-American.
If you can't answer this question, it's the last one I'm putting to you.
Do you think he's an American? Giving you, because that's the way it's going to have to work. He is un-American in the way he thinks. He hates this country. He hates the Constitution. He's a socialist, and he's trying to grab every bit of power he can.
What was he teaching? What was his specialty at University of Chicago Law School? Wasn't he teaching constitutional law?
He was teaching Saul Alinsky street combat methods. That's what he was doing.
At the University of Chicago Law School?
That's exactly right.
Where did you get this from?
From the blackboard that he was photographed in front of.
Okay, let me ask you about Obama. You won't tell me whether he's a citizen or not. You have a problem with that question, I guess.
I don't care whether he is or not.
Well, what's your answer?
I don't know.
So you're not willing to vouch for him as an American?
All I know is I want to get him out of office as soon as I can.
Okay, you won't answer the question. How about Skip? Will you answer the question? Is Obama president of the United States? Is he legitimately elected? Is he a citizen of our country?
As far as I know, he was legitimately elected to the office of president. He is my president. Until someone proves differently, he is my president.
Okay, but you won't back that up. You're not with him on that, Larry, right? So we have a disagreement here.
Hey, you can make anybody disagreeable, Chris. Way to go.
Well, you know what? It's the pursuit of the truth, sir, and you've given us a lot. You don't think this president is one of us because you won't even say so.
What's important is what he believes and what he's doing.
No, what's important is you won't answer a simple question. Is he an American?
He's in the office, and I want to defeat him.
Well, that's fair enough. That is totally fair. This is how we do it in this country, debating. What I don't understand is your lack of faith in our government. It's a Democratic government. It's decided every 4 years who our president is.
You love the government,
and yet you don't have any faith in our democratic ability to pick our president.
And they're doing what you like. But naturally, we're going to be a little bit disturbed because they're coming for our freedom. They're coming. You can't open a business without a permit. You can't do anything in this country without a permit. That's not freedom.
So I'm a socialist, too.
Of course.
How did I get this label? Where'd this come from?
Chris, look at what you believe in. I watch your show. I know what you talk. I know what you think.
Where are my areas? Do I believe the federal government should control our economy?
Of course, you're supporting all this stuff.
The president of the United States named George W. Bush supported the bailing out of the auto industry. He supported the bailing out of our financial institutions.
And
that's the
shame
guy
on
that
George.
did it. Is he a
Shame on
socialist
him.
too?
And yes, he is. And he said he had to use a little socialism to try to save capitalism. Well, you know what? That was really a stupid thing to say.
Okay, Larry, we know where you stand, bro. Thank you for coming on. I'm not a socialist, by the way, but I can only defend myself against your otherwise general charges. Pardon me?
You got plenty of good company. You ought to fess up to it and just enjoy it.
Okay. Thank you, Skip Korea. It's a great country, isn't it, Larry? And we do have our freedoms. We just proved it. You guys with all this paranoia are crazy. There's plenty of freedom in this country.
Coming up,
I prove it every night, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
Every night I prove we have freedom. Thank you very much for coming on, and you've helped prove it with me. President Obama is coming to New York to fight